Hello, everyone. Let us know a couple different folks in there. I hear you. Great. See you. Great. Good. So, David.
Looks good
over
on my laptop.
Israel. Good. Good. We know David Schwartz, if we can be seen in Israel, well, then shit, everybody in the world can see us, dude, and hear us. So good audio and video. John Yates, welcome, everybody. Rick, I screw up his last name. Uteg, let me know how to say that. Uteg, I'm not sure, but Edward Lake, Louis Caparasso. Very good, guys. Thanks for being in here. With that said, I think we will just go ahead and get this guy over here, adjust a few things, and then we will get going here.
Put the fucking mic on.
Lurch, I know it is later in January at the time of the recording of this, but have you lost that Christmas feeling?
Oh, yeah, I lost a long time ago.
Oh, that Christmas feeling.
For the most part.
You've lost that Christmas feeling. Now it's gone.
Gone. Whoa.
So you have.
I have, officially, yes.
Well, I was reinvigorated.
Just a few minutes ago.
Just a few moments ago, right here in the studio, because I, too, had lost that Christmas feeling. I lost it, but I got it back, and it was unexpected in the form of...
How'd you do that?
Dingle Bells Dude Wipes, because we stocked up on the... not only did we stock up on the fall Dumpkin Spice...
I'm torn between the two, to be honest.
Dude Wipes, wet wipes. And I'm not one to throw them away. No. Even though it's out of season.
That'd be wasteful.
The problem is you can't wait to save those for next Christmas because they'll probably dry out.
Good chance if they've been opened anyways.
Right. The ones we've opened. So, they have a shelf life. And so, yes, I was, partaking in a pre-show duker moments ago. Just, to let y'all know. And, I was looking and I'm like, well, we really need to use those up. And as I got done with a gentle swab, wipe, whatever you want to call it.
A dab.
I was reminded of the Dingle Bells and very piney, Christmassy smelling.
Maybe a hint of cranberry. I don't know.
Maybe a hint of cranberry. It really brought me back to Christmas time. Just the smell of them before I, did the wipe.
Sure.
It really, I was like, it is very Christmassy. And so for a moment in time, I reminisced about Christmas 2024. And then I walked out here and I feel good. I feel snappy. I feel fresh, but Christmas is gone and I'm back. lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt, B-U-T-T-E, in case you didn't know. That's a serious link, and we appreciate everybody using it. We highly recommend the Dude Wipes in all the various flavors. We're always testing and reviewing.
They're not flavors. I say that all the time too, but scents.
It is. I still like flavors. All the different flavors. And where'd that go? Okay. So lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. You punch through. It takes you to the Dude Wipes, and no additional cost to you at all, but we do get a small commission if you decide to purchase Dude Wipes based on our review of all the flavors
okay.
of the...
All right. If you want.
I don't know. I just like saying that, dude. It makes them sound more refined instead of scents.
Right.
The flavors of Dude Wipes. And everybody around you will appreciate you more. You'll have a little skip in your step. You'll be peppy. You'll be ready for the day. And when you crop dust, they'll get a little reminder of Christmas.
They won't even know you crop dust. They'll just go, why am I thinking of Christmas right now? I've got Christmas on the brain. I don't know why.
Yeah, Dingleberry wipes. Yeah, it's Dingle Bells, right?
Yeah.
Dingle Bells wipes. Yeah.
You use the dingle bells to clean off
To
the
clean off the
dingleberries.
dingleberries. Yes, exactly. All right, we got business to take care of here. This is freaking ridiculous. Do you want to ride longer? Are you tired of a sore and achy ass? Then quit hanging out in dark alleys after drinking all night. Anyways, motorcycle related, you can fix that sore ass with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Just head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Wrong one, Lurch.
I got mail. Yay! I got mail. Yay!
You want to handle this,
Yeah.
bro?
A lot of times the emails are questions, but this is information. This gentleman took time to send us some information, not asking questions, just something he ran into. Wanted to share it with the biker community, and that is Kevin Rickles of Gallatin, Tennessee. Here's what
Gallatin.
Gallatin.
Russell Roberts' neighborhood there.
That's right.
It's his hood.
So here's what Kevin had to say. I just wanted to reach out with a little information about adding a CB. That's right, I said CB to the newer bikes that don't come with a CB already added from the factory. Several of us have added CBs and had them activated at the dealership. I added one to a 23 Street Glide ST. The problem was, with several of us, all the sound was very garbled. I tried a few antennas and wires to no avail. Luckily, one of the guys went in and watched the tech activate his CB. The tech was setting our CBs to FM rather than AM. Once this was corrected and shared with others about the problem, everyone's CBs now work. I just wanted to share this with you and others if the problem should arise. I know a lot of people are on Senna and such, but some of us are still hardcore CB users. Have a great day, Kevin.
Thanks for the email. So lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he got a hold of us. Not only can you go to that page and just leave a free voice message from your microphone, computer, or phone itself. It's very, very simple. You can also leave a typed message, in which this case he did. And we really appreciate you reaching out and asking those questions. CB stands for Citizens Band. And we need to be reminded of that. I had to look it up, which is a type of antiquated two-way radio, if you will. And it is interesting to hear that some folks hang on to that technology, and there's nothing wrong with that. And certainly, hopefully, that question helped others out in the community. I am just curious. Let's see. Okay, so Citizens Band radio, and I just want to buy a CB radio.
Well, I can give you one. I got one out in my shop from my 1978
You can,
Chev.
dude. These are huge,
Pickup.
though.
Yeah,
but $119 at Best Buy. Oh, Cobra.
Oh, I was a Uniden guy. A lot of people went
You
with Cobras
suck,
as well.
Uniden.
Yeah, they
oh
were-
my God,
they were
you
a
guys
little
were
bit
such
nicer.
losers. We Uniden guys in high school, dude. We totally trashed on you guys. Uniden.
Mine had the Weather Channel.
You
Two
were
channels.
you were the guy with the block punt stereo too, right? You were that guy, dude. Uniden
finer-
and block punt.
the finer things in life, yes.
Dude, I was frickin' Alpine, dude. Boom, just booming down the road. Anyways, you can still buy CB radios if you're interested in that. And yeah, interesting. Okay, enough of the CB radio. But again, thank you so much from Kevin Rickles of Gallatin, Tennessee. What's your 10? What's your 1020 rubber ducky? Rubber ducky,
what's
gray
your-
scroll to base, gray scroll to base. What's your 20? What's your
your
20?
handle?
I'm rolling down here. We got a comedian. We got a Smokey and the comedian. Isn't that what they used to say, dude?
Oh, they used to call us jokers and the comedian.
Oh yeah, there's the
you know why they call
troopers
it
and
the
the
comedian? That's where the jokers.
that's
hang
for the
out.
jokers, for the troopers and the medians. Yeah, there's a joker and the comedian. Yeah, right. Yeah. Maybe Russell Roberts can get on here and give us some good. Hey, 10-4, big buddy, come over. I'm hauling down the road here. We got somebody in the comedian here. 10-4, gray scroll to base, gray scroll to base.
From what I heard, what I recall talking to Russell is he doesn't turn that on. He says it's just full of a bunch of trash. It's
Yeah.
not like it used to be.
Yeah, right. They were actually useful back in the day, before cell phones, before, these little handheld, we have, the little two-way handheld we use for snowboard, and then we use them for motorcycle productions.
240 channels and 4 miles worth of range. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude, how things have changed. Zero 3D, if you didn't know, Bikeaholics has a very wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Later in the show, we'll do a Zero 3D mid-roll, but it's going to be different than usual because I think we are going to talk about a few 24 items.
I was about to, and you just stopped me. You could see me, couldn't you?
I would say save it for save it for the mid-roll. So, couple store items Lurch wants to talk to you about because we are adding products faster than we can announce. We are crazy busy, as always, here at Law Abiding Biker Media. Just one facet of the business is the store, and we've got products sitting, waiting for review and videos that haven't been edited, and it's insanity, which is a good thing. And so Lurch wants to mention a few things that maybe you aren't aware of, some opportunities in the Law Abiding Biker store.
Yeah, we've been really ramping up just the review videos and the gear review videos and putting stuff out and adding stuff to the store. And I just want to say thank you for y'all for supporting us because it's starting to be a good year this year, and the economy is starting to turn around. Things are good. We got a bright future ahead of us. But I would like to say that the Kuryakin extended brake levers are back in stock. These things are for limited time only. We get our hands on as many as we can. They sell out, and then we had to wait like 4 or 5 months sometimes to get more. So if you've been thinking about adding one on, now's the time to grab them up. We always do have the soft brake extended brake pedals. That company is out of Idaho. We have a lot better access to those. Again, sometimes they come and go with his ability of getting chrome, but
America.
If you can't, if you want one and you don't want to wait for a Kuryakin because they come and go, most likely we'll have a soft brake in stock.
And you'll be supporting an American company, American made, everything right here, America.
Nothing wrong with the Kuryakin, but I will tell you that the soft brake, in my opinion, is better made. And it's, you're supporting a U.S. company. We also have added heated gear, and that would be gerbing, which right now we just did a recent video on. If you haven't seen that review, go check it out. It's very detailed. Break it all down. Everything you need to know about heated gear. That's selling really well, so make sure if you've been thinking about getting some that you jump in there and grab some. And also first gear. There's some first gear heated gear in there as well.
And we are very proud of that video. We didn't know it was going to do as well as it did, but the way we did it and the way it came together, so informational and, based on many years of me testing heated gear and going through a plethora of cheap stuff, trying to save a buck,
Been there.
Right. On Amazon and all the white labeled stuff, all these different names on Amazon for the same gear and cheap ass batteries, fire hazard, in my opinion. Anyways, at the end of the day, I was able to sift through all that in that video for you. And it's also somewhat of a tutorial, kind of the different setups, what you need. If you've ever been interested in gear that works. And, a lot of guys say, well, I bought this, jacket off Amazon 2 years ago. It's still working. You've maybe used it twice. And that's the problem. I use this gear every day in the winter as a police motorcycle officer on my personal bike. So my testing is a little bit above and beyond. Yeah, you can buy a piece of gear and have it for 2 years if you're not using it regularly, but they do go bad. And I put everything to the ultimate test. And some of my favorite gear. Anyways, we just were talking this morning, prepping for the show and at the coffee shop doing some administrative duties. And Lurch was like, holy cow, we are really moving gerbing gear right out of the Law Abiding Biker store, and we can get it for you. Of course, don't forget, if you're not a Washington State resident, it's huge savings because you don't pay tax. And if you're a patron member, year-round, 365 days a year, you get to use your patron member code on everything in the Law Abiding Biker store for an additional 10% off. And orders over $100, free shipping, which you will be in with gerbing. And so a lot of savings that you won't get other places on the interwebs. And we're just a bootstrap company of bikers trying to help as many bikers as we can worldwide. And we certainly appreciate your support. Gerbing, by far, I can tell you. Is that, the video's out, so go watch that. Is that podcast episode out? Because we did an actual.
Not yet.
Okay.
We've done it. It's actually next, but with all the new models being released between Harley and Indian. We've been a little busy with timely stuff, but it will be coming out as soon as we get through this next couple of timely episodes.
Perfect. But nonetheless, you can certainly go view the video, and it's a lot of visuals. And I'd strongly suggest it because it's an investment, heated gear, and you don't want to waste your money and you want something that's going to last. I mean, we're getting comments on some guys. They're like, I've had my Gerbing for 12 years. That's insane. When you look at all the cheap shit on Amazon and all the cheap shit, on other motorcycle stores that just carry everything. We vetted it for you. First Gear, again, like you said, I also use that for years. I go through that in the video. Definitely a great alternative, about the same price. They don't do battery stuff, but they just do plug-in stuff. Gerbing does both. But again, just get over to the video. Enough frickin' said. You got us a podcast to do here. I suppose we are live with our beloved patron members. Live video broadcast and chat. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call
the hashtag Biker Revolution.
There you go. We do have just one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up.
And let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
There you go. Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
So we got an episode for you guys. We are going to break down the 2025 Harley-Davidson model release. Now, we already did an episode. It's out, right, Lurch, on the soft launch?
Yes,
better.
It is.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure it is. So we did, this is different. So we did the soft launch episode. You'll want to listen to that. Again, this is live for our beloved patron members, mid-level and above. And we get to chat with you. We get to hang with you. And if you're listening in regular, this will come out at some point in regular podcast format. But patron members not only get this live, but any episodes that we record get uploaded to the back end of their patron account right away. And they get it oftentimes months before everybody else. So if you're just a regular listener later, listen to the soft launch. Just to recap that, Harley came out. A lot of carryover bikes, the Street Glide, the Road Glide, because the big changes on those touring models were in 2024. There's a few minor things, but nonetheless, there's still a lot to talk about. And so check out that episode. Do you know what episode number that was, Lurch? He'll look it up.
Yeah, I was answering another question. Sorry, which episode?
The soft launch. Okay. So, check that episode number out. Lurch will give it to you here. And then, so there was still a fair amount of information there. And so then from there, we were waiting for the actual launch of the bikes that got a lot of significant changes. And so what we're going to talk about in this episode is follow up. 388. So lawabidingbiker.com/388, or just search for it in your podcast listening platform of choice. I might recommend our app, which is free. So today we're going to focus on, they popped on us a lot on the cruiser lineup, and just actually, a lot more than meets the eye, to talk about. Lurch, you said something before we dive in here. I don't want to forget about these cycles, both Harley and Indian. Can you explain that?
Yeah, and not just them, just all manufacturers, to get set up to create a line takes quite a bit. And so you're not creating a brand new vehicle every year, well, unless you're Cadillac, like in the 60s, and you're crazy. But the rest of them, they, you see trucks, cars, motorcycles, they go on 5, generally speaking, maybe a little bit longer trends, changes. So we saw some major changes with Harley and with Indian in the last year or so. So I don't think we're going to see major changes for another 3, 4, 5 years, but they are doing incremental changes as we go along, which we'll talk about. Both of them are throwing bigger motors at some of their bikes. So we're just kind of in that phase where, the big stuff's been done and we have to wait for the really next big one. My bike's 10 years old. I was waiting for that big change, and here we are.
Your wife's still waiting for the next big one?
That'll be tonight when I get home.
Oh, God. All right. So a couple quick announcements. New free video, because we're putting them out so fast. If you guys noticed, on YouTube, faster than we ever have before. Lurch, you want to talk about this?
Let me get to it. I was still answering a question.
Well, let's pay attention to the episode.
I'm trying to. So this one is next. It's called Next Level Headlight for your Harley-Davidson. It's the Denali Destroyer, which crushes the darkness. You can find a link to it in the show notes below. That thing, in the show notes for this episode down below. I'm used to hearing you say that when you're doing your videos. That thing is insane. There's a dual headlight for the real glides, and there's a single headlight for the street glide. It's insanely bright, crazy bright. It's
really cool looking and available right in the law-abiding biker store. We're proud to be carrying that thing. Not the cheapest, but it crushes the competitors in pricing, and it's just as good. And so you want a top-notch headlight, that Denali Destroyer. Oh, my God. Yeah, go check out that video.
Yeah, there's cheap ones on the market. You can go find crap on Amazon. It's not going to last. If you want quality, these quality ones that are sealed, the dust stays out, water stays out of them. They meet all this, DOT and standards and whatnot. You're going to pay some money, but this one is even, like you said, a little bit cheaper than the competition.
There is a lot of knockoffs on Amazon and eBay of every product imaginable. Man, you get what you pay for, especially when it comes to quality motorcycle products. You will just get what you pay for. So just know that. All right. So love our sponsors, our regular sponsors up front, but these folks are also a reason we are coming to you after 14 years, stronger than ever. These are some of our newest patron members that we want to thank.
And I'm looking them over before I say it to make sure you didn't sneak some fake name in there. We'd like to thank Dan Farrell of Buffalo, New York, Martin Schrader of Bethesda, I believe, Ohio, and Scotty Johnson of Cedar Bluff, Virginia.
Thank you so much. We could not do this without our patron members, which right here today is one benefit because they get to be here live, video broadcast, and chat access to that. So yeah, it's always a great time. So you can become a member by simply signing up for a monthly subscription. And when you do so, you can choose the benefits you want to receive. And there are a plethora of benefits, as already mentioned here: live video broadcast and chat, t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone. Nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. You get access to podcasts early, as mentioned, premium videos up on request, access to the ride, meetup, and events. You got your patron code, which is good all year round in the law-abiding biker store. And Lurch, you didn't put it in the show notes again, but we really need to talk about Canada. We have to start getting that information out. So the reason I say that is we have a large meetup and ride event coming up in Canada 2025. That'll be the sanctioned law-abiding biker meetup. And so we have kind of dialed some things in. So I'm glad I thought of that. We got to get that in every episode. So
July 21st, 2025 in the greater Banff, Canada area.
There you go.
We do finally have a patron, Larry, I think it was Johnson, if I remember right, helping out. So we're going to have the information out on the website here pretty soon. I've got a lot of the forms and the website built. I just need Ryan to look it over to make sure I did it right, and we'll get that sign up page up and running.
So what I would do, y'all, to get out ahead of this, I'm just going to give you some general information. So if you're a patron member, mid-level or above, if you're not, I would sign up now, because most of the time, once the sign up form, we require you to be a contributing patron member 3 months before you're allowed to even sign up for the event. We want to make sure you're committed to the community and the patron member, biker revolution. So we need to see that. So if you're listening right now and you're not a patron member, get signed up ASAP, because when the sign up form comes out, the requirements will be there. It's always going to be mid-level or above patron members. So make sure you sign up for that level if you want to get access. Now, the 21st, where did it go? You had it in there. Oh, there it is. We closed it. So the patron ride, basically, hotels and things can go quick. So if you're like, yes, I'm committed, we guarantee it's going to be on July 21st. All right. You can always cancel hotel. I would always get signed up ahead of time because there are limited, places to stay. With that said, it's going to be in the greater Banff area, which means you could stay in Calgary. So here's what I would plan for is if you're going to get a hotel, obviously, you might want to come in on July 20th, maybe late. It's up to you, but you might want a night hotel for the night of the 20th. And then the morning of July 21st, once you sign up, you'll start getting more information. But usually the general meetup will be around the Banff area. It will be somewhere around 10 or 11. We usually chat for an hour before we go on a group ride. And then we end up at a, destination that's either secured or rented, and there'll be a catered meal and social type And then we're usually done by about 5 or 6 because we have to go because we're on a club trip. So that's kind of what you can plan for. And then maybe you want to stay the night again that night, the 21st. That's up to you. Or maybe you want to bug out and go on, continue your ride or wherever. But hopefully that gives you an idea so you're not, nervous about, oh my God, when's it going to be? It's just up to you. You can even ride in that morning if you want from afar. That's completely up to you. But if you want to take it easy a little bit, definitely maybe the day before. But yeah, plan on like 10 a.m. so you could get up in the morning, chill, get a coffee. It'll be within reach of Calgary, of Banff, all that area. And again, you'll get more details as we go. But we are excited. July 21st, 2025, official sanctioned law-abiding biker media ride, meetup, and social event in the Banff, Canada area. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best event there ever is. There's probably never been a bigger event than this is going to be.
The last one was really good. And people, in fact, are still talking about it.
They're still talking about it. They are. They talk about the ones 10 years ago. They're still talking about, they're going to talk about this one for years too.
And I know some of the guys want to meet up and ride up there. Some of the patrons want to get together. In fact, Brad Johnston had asked about some of the information so that he could put a group together. So it's not just, individual people riding to meet up. There's guys that'll get together. So in the patron group, you can make, groups from your area and ride up there together.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully I shared enough information there to make you feel comfortable. And like I say, I would get accommodations sooner than later because most places have, at least 30 days before, if whatever reason you couldn't. But excuse me, we will have a official, like Lurch says, a lickety split sign up, and we'll put that in the private Facebook group, and we'll put it out, general public too. The requirements to get signed up for that event.
That is in our to-do for tomorrow. Have you look that over?
Oh, is it for tomorrow? Nice.
Yep. Make sure that I've done it all right.
Nice. Okay. With that said, guys, we're going to dive in here, and please, as always, guys, we're going to try to monitor the chat. There's just 2 of us here today, Lurch and I, but have conversations. Feel free. We thought this would be a good one for Patreon members because you guys always got some good input on a lot of this stuff, but we're just going to run over. There's actually, as always, we do the research. We prep for the video we did. We prep deep for these. We try to do the work for you because it can be overwhelming to try to bump back and forth and try to find bikes and what was different from last year. And it becomes a mess. Trust me, me and Lurch go back and forth and, bouncing ideas off each other and doing these notes. So, also, if you're one that wants to read, we did do a complete article, and the video is embedded in the article, and we will put that in the show notes for here to that official article. So, like I say, soft launch is done. Now we have the hard launch, I call it. And
let's back up a little bit.
Go ahead.
The soft launch was a little bit different this year. In the past years, they've had a live event. They send you out an email. Stay tuned at 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 23rd. We're going live, and they've got something, they've got the folks from Harley there. They usually have some influencers or actors or whatever the hell you want to call them involved. And it's a big production. This year, we were starting to wonder if anything was going to happen because we had literally no updates going up to it. In fact, it went out before I even realized it was out finally. And it was just a smattering of YouTube videos on the different models. So a little bit different this year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they just peppered their channel at the time. I was looking the day before, the week before, and there was no video player on their homepage like usual. There was one email that said they were going to release, but they didn't say how they were going to do that.
Right.
It was literally, they just made their website go live. It was so weird. And I was like, Lurch, I called it. I told Lurch, I said, there's not going to be a video, bro. There's no way. I just know marketing. I go, there's no way they would do it this way. If there's a video, they're going to send you emails. They're going to have a embedded on their website. There's going to be a countdown timer. I mean, nothing. And as expected, they literally just went live on, I think it was the 23rd.
Yes, it was.
Went live with that. And it was just, popping the website. Now, with that said, it was somewhat of a horrible website launch because their servers were screwed and their website was locking and stuff wouldn't load. Me and Lurch, off the back of that, spent hours doing research, popping everything together. And then we did a whole outline, and then we set up the camera right after that, and all the lights and stuff. And then we filmed, And then we got some dinner, and it was later in the afternoon. Lurch went home. I edited and got the video done and went to bed at like 2:30 in the morning. I got it out, pushed all the work that goes into that. I wanted it out ASAP, kind of a recap and overview of these bikes. But even then, while we were doing our video, we were also screen capturing my laptop, and I couldn't even load stuff. I even mentioned it on that video. I'm like, I can't even load between 24 and 20. It was horrible. I've never seen their website be quite so troublesome. So I'm not sure. Hopefully they can fix that in the future. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
And that may have been part of the problem. Was in the past they've had just a video stream everybody's watching, paying attention to. Now
Right.
you got people on the site navigating it, bouncing around, and it just seemed to overload it.
Yeah.
Looking at their YouTube channel, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little short videos. They're all just a few minutes long on the changes that they made for 25. And of course, they're not very informational.
No, they're the typical corporate videos, guys, which is why I'm glad, because then we guys like me, my YouTube channel, we can actually do a video that's worthwhile watching, that's informational, podcast that really lets consumers know what you need to know, instead of just looking at bikes and listening to music and going, what's different about it? So they did their corporate thing, and that's fine. That's what we are here for, to let you know kind of what you may want to know. So this new 2025 Harley lineup brings updates to 6 cruiser models and introduces 2 new models. Now, I'm going to be capturing my screen for you guys in the live video broadcast and chat. Audio listeners only, you're missing out, but I will, as we're looking at stuff online, I'll try to pop that up for you so you can see what we're looking at. But the refreshed cruiser models, Lurch, do you want to go over the list of those?
They are the Lowrider S, the Lowrider ST, the Breakout, the Heritage Classic, the Fat Boy, and the Street Bob.
There you go. So we're going to break those down more, but the 6 refreshed cruiser models, and there's actually a bit to break down in there. And then Lurch, just up front, we're going to break these down too, but we got 2 new touring models, right?
Yes. Well, not touring models, but 2 new models. There's the Street Glide Ultra, which is touring. When you did that on video, you really hurt my ear.
If you guys, if you go watch the video, I was crying when I was editing it. You got to go watch that. That's where that comes from. It was I do very random things sometimes to Lurch.
Yes, you do. And then the other one's the Pan America 1250 ST.
So touring,
Sure.
a Grand American touring and an adventure touring. As I said, touring models. Anyways, I just wanted to trash you
Most
on
people
that.
don't think of the Pan America as touring, but you're right.
Well,
you're technically correct.
They did label it adventure touring.
They can call it whatever they want.
Well, I'm just saying. It technically,
It's an adventure touring. I agree. Okay.
All right.
You're technically right, sir.
Finally.
I said it.
I'm just teasing, dude. All right. One of the most standout updates across this cruiser lineup, guys, is the standout updates to these cruiser lineup. Finally, which is very exciting. We've been waiting for it, but they added the ride modes, rain, sport, and road. Now, we've all had the pleasure of using those, us that have touring models, newer touring models, I should say, within the last several years. And so they brought that right over to the cruiser lineup, and that's huge. Just from, having the different, they're tuned, there's different maps in there basically, and those bikes really either back off or really come alive based on that. And I guess I don't know, Lurch, if those have customizable modes like my Street Glide Special.
Oh, good question. I will look.
Yeah.
They definitely have the road, rain, and sport.
Okay.
I'll look while you're chatting.
All right. So anyways, at least you got those 3 modes. I can also do custom modes on my Street Glide. And when I do that, I've got a setup where it's basically everything maxed, and that thing runs like a raped ape. It is amazing.
You had your bike set in that mode when I got on it to take it down to the dealer for you, and damn, that thing was twitchy.
Yeah. It's, I don't run it in that all the time because it's like, you can't even keep the,
it wants to go.
Just every little movement, it just wants to go. So, a lot of fun there. So I'm going to dive into the Milwaukee. This is huge. So the Milwaukee-eight 117 powertrain variant. So we got the water-cooled heads, the 117 Milwaukee-eight as seen on the 24 Street Glide and Road Glide. We got that standard in 24. And so that's what I'm running on my bike. So we didn't know if some of the cruisers, I suspected leading up to the events that, they were going to put this motor on some of the cruisers and things like that. But I was actually pleasantly surprised that they didn't just do that. They really leveled up as technologically, so to speak. And so let me explain what I mean by that. So remember I said 117 powertrain variants. So these bikes, these 6 cruisers that we've already mentioned, got the 117, but they also got variants. And so let me explain that to you. So they've got the 117, they've got a classic, custom, and high output version of that same motor. I do want to remember that now my Street Glide, your Road Glide, your Touring are the 117 water cooled heads. We go back to these for the cruiser lineup. These are air cooled, oil cooled. They don't have the water cooled heads, thus, minus the radiator and things like that. So, but other than that, same motor. So the Milwaukee-eight 117 classic variant of this motor is available on the Street Bob and Heritage Classic. The Milwaukee-eight 117 custom variant of this motor is found in the Fat Boy and the Breakout. And the Milwaukee-eight 117 high output variant of this motor is exclusive to the Lowrider S and Lowrider ST. So again, 3 variants: classic, custom, and high output. And the reason I'm baking that into your mind is because as we further this discussion, we may be referring to those versions of this motor. And so we found it important for you to know those 3 variants. Did you find any information there, producer?
All it says is customize your ride with 3 available ride modes. So that leads me to believe that there may not be a custom. But here's the good news. When you go down and test ride these things, you can find out for us.
Yep, there you go. With that said, I will be heading down, guys, in late February to the Texas area. And I will be in Texas for 4 days, flying in there to test ride, review, as always, as I do different on my channel. I will not just go to gawk. I see, and it's fine. A lot of channels, they just don't really, it's very superficial. They're just excited to be there, and I get it. I really want to break it down, find out things like that. I have other questions too. My whole mission is not to go down there and gawk and show you how cool the trip is. The way I do it is go down to investigate, and I want to find the good things. I want to find if there's any negative things, any things they can improve. Do they have a customizable mode for those and things like that to really bring back valuable information, not only to put on the YouTube channel for y'all, but also to do a very detailed conversation about it here on a podcast. So I go down prep for these things. I have notes, things I want to learn, what I want to bring back to you all. So if you have any questions before I go down, now would be the time. Obviously you can, if you're a patron member, you can DM us. I'll make a list of questions that I'll try to get answered from engineers and Harley contacts. And if you're a regular listener, please just reach out, lawbuddyingbiker.com/contact, and just tell me, hey, when you go down there to Texas, I want to know this about this bike, or I'd really like you to test this. Please, I'm here for you all. That's my whole mission. We've done podcasts in the past, people, think the trips are all glorious, and it actually costs me time and money to go on these trips. I don't make very much money. I'm not paid to go there or anything like that. I wish. I'm just there. I get the opportunity, to get there, to have access to these bikes, to really dive in and review them. These trips cost me money, but I do it because it's important for the channel. It's important for you, and you support us in a lot of other ways. So I don't need to make money on everything. This is just a very important thing for me to have access to these bikes. And I'm very blessed that I'm allowed to go to these places. And with that said, I'm very, very blessed and appreciative of being able to go down and test ride and review these bikes. So
Gary Jackson hopes that the snow has melted in Texas before you go down there and wants to know if you're taking your heated gear with you.
No doubt. I probably will, but usually when I go down to these places in pre-spring, about a week before I look at kind of what the weather, and as leading up to about 3 days before, 2 days before even, and then I decide what I need to pack. But I will be prepared. Whether do I need, is there any hint of rain, then I'll take rain gear. But remember, on my normal bike, I take everything. But I'm flying, I've got suitcases, and so I have to really be careful about everything I take. But if it's down there, I will, if the temperature is going to be down, I will definitely be taking heated gear. But again, I really try to lead up to 2 days before I leave. But this one's going to be a little different. I kind of have to go a little more prepared because we've got other business down there and I'm going to be there days before. So I may pack a little bit heavier than I usually do, with that said. So,
and a little sneak peek here for all of our long-term listeners that know that we get to do a lot with Harley-Davidson. You're also getting an opportunity with Indian this year.
I am. I will be, Indian sent us the Pursuit. I've had that for over a year. In fact, if you didn't know, you didn't know, this morning or yesterday, we scripted, because Indian just came out with all their models 2025 after Harley. And so yesterday we scripted, we researched, we did our due diligence, we shot the video. I was up till midnight last night. I got it all edited, hit upload on YouTube, unlisted at this time, so that by morning it would be uploaded. This morning I worked on it. That video will be pushed out later this afternoon on the YouTube channel at the time of this recording. And it's a lot of all about Indian's release, and then Indian versus Harley. I forget what I even titled it, but it's a lot of back and forth, very objective, not one brand or the other. We really wanted to stay objective between these two launches and give you as the consumer information on, what bike you might want to pick. And there's actually a lot to know. And we dug in pricing and variants, and it just, when that video pops, I'd definitely watch it. With that said, yes, this year I've, get to go down to the Las Vegas area. This will be before I go to Texas. So basically, I'll be traveling for about 2 weeks. I'll go down to Vegas, do the Indian and test ride and review their bikes. And then we're going to take a few days. Lurches, I flew him down so we can kind of hang out there and in the Texas area. And then once we get done there, I'll have some days off. I'll have to produce an Indian video, and then Lurch is going to fly back, and I will go on to the Harley event for 4 days. And then when I get home, I will produce a video on that one. So it's going to be a very busy 2 weeks, but also a little R&R in there. But again, very blessed. And as we always say, I support all bikes on the channel. I love Harley. I love Indian. I have a Husqvarna. I have a Kawasaki. We like BMWs, Honda Goldwings. We have people in the patron members that ride Goldwings. I am not opposed to any bike. There is no perfect bike, and everybody has to choose what bike you want and that what works for you. And that's what we do on this channel, is just try to give you the best information we can so that you can make an educated decision. A lot of that's based on experience too. Like, certain things I can give you real world use case scenarios and what's better, but we try to stay very also objective on these type of reviews. So a lot going on here in the spring of 2025. And we'll be doing a podcast episode also on the Harley versus Indian and the Indian release. It's all kind of wrapped up into one video. I think it will really pop for a lot of people. So with that said, do you want to do, why don't you take this? Because I've been talking a lot, Lurch. Not that I usually talk a lot, but.
Oh, yeah, never. Not at all. So talking about the 117 and the key engine improvements on these cruiser models. It's a redesigned 4-valve cylinder heads for enhanced performance and fuel efficiency. They have a frame-mounted oil cooler for better thermal management, especially in low speed or hot weather conditions. Improved intake and exhaust systems that are tailored to uniquely perform the characteristics of each model. So there's 3 different models, as you mentioned. The classic, the custom, and the high output. So each of those different models of the M8 117 will have different intake and exhaust systems. And they got redefined sound quality with mufflers and intakes also I just said that, didn't I? It's said twice. So not only are they improved, but they refined the sound of those exhaust.
You didn't say model
too.
No, didn't say it twice. It's two different things.
Yes, same thing.
One is performance, one is sound.
Yeah, but they're both intakes and exhaust. So
yes, very good. So a lot of key engine improvements. Not groundbreaking, but incremental.
It's cool
changes.
that they have ones designed for each bike, right? So the Fat Boy is going to ride different than a ST, right?
Yes.
So they've got different motors and different ones that complement that style of bike and the type of riding that rider's going to do.
Yep. If you want balls to the wall, fast and furious, you want that S and the ST because that's the high output. Mm-hmm. Of course, you can tune bikes on your own too, but just out of the box, those are going to be great bikes. Now,
speaking, before we move on, just a question that was in the patron only chat there was from David Schwartz, and he asked about the FP4 and the ride modes. How does a tuner affect the ride modes?
It's going to just build on the ride modes. With the FP4,
or Screaming Eagle tuner in this case.
Here's the issue. So let's say you have the ride modes. It doesn't change anything as far as a tuner goes, because say my 24, I get it. I put on a high flow intake. I put on, performance exhaust. That bike is still not going to be tuned overall for those components. The ride modes are still going to do things a little bit different.
Retard.
A lot of it can be electronic too, like throttle response. It's not necessarily EFI stuff. There's a whole bunch, braking, drag, slip, torque control. That's not EFI stuff. That's all electronic stuff. So those ride modes encompass a large array of different things. And so I'm going to tune my bike. Thus, the ride modes are all going to work well. So very, very good question. And hopefully that tunes up. So it doesn't change anything. You can do your exhaust, do your intake, do whatever you're doing. Bam. Tune it, auto tune it, FP4, available in the Law Abiding Biker store. Of course, we love the FP4, and it's not quite ready. They haven't cracked it for the 24 models, but pre-24, you're good to go. And tune it, and then bam. And then I just use my ride modes as normal. But outstanding question. I had never, so I appreciate you bringing that up.
Put a more high flow intake and exhaust on, then you need to increase your fuel and air to make it run right. So then you have that map in there, and then the ride modes work on top of that. So they either add to it or take away from it, depending on if you want more or less power, depending on the situation. If you're in rain, you don't want to spin out, so you're going to be retarding some of those things. If you're wanting to haul ass and it's dry and you're ripping through the twisties in sport mode, you want to enhance that. So that's kind of how that works. So hopefully between the two of us, we answered that. Yep,
good question. And I wanted to bring up too, guys, about the Indian and Harley thing. Which we, like I said, support all on this channel. But we mentioned in our video, and I just want to reiterate that it would be bad for the industry if one company or the other failed. Horrible for all of us. We want Harley to succeed. We want Indian to succeed. And if there's another player, American-made V-twin, I know there's Honda Goldwing, Kawasaki. I'm talking about American-made V-twin. Those bikes too, I want them to succeed too. But if there's another American-made V-twin company to come into the mix, competition in the marketplace is absolutely necessary. And like Lurch said, pushes innovation. And we, the consumers, are the beneficiaries of all of that competition and pushing, and king of the baggers, pushing each other, and research and development out on the track. We see that trickling down in the bike. So this whole thing, I just, not to get off on a tangent, but I do in my video a little bit, I get tired of the Ford Chevy thing. It's so dumb. There's a bike for everybody. We all have different needs. We all have different wants. We all have different subjective opinions on looks and styling. At the end of the day, that's why our video, we tried to stay very objective. And yes, I'm going to say some bad things about Harley. Yeah, I'm going to say some bad things about Indian. I'm also going to say good things about both of them, because we are fair and balanced on this channel. I'm not afraid, just because I get to go to these events, I'm not afraid to say, hey, they could do this better. This company could do this better. Harley's doing this and Indian's not. Indian's doing this and Harley's not. And that, by fair and balanced reporting like that, I believe that also pushes the industry and keeps these companies on top of their game, listening to me, which hopefully is the voice of you guys. in changes that we want to see or things we don't like or things we do like. So I just wanted to mention that I really want everybody to succeed because I'm going to be selfish here, benefit from all of that stuff. So yeah, Lurch, let's, why don't we break in real quick? This is really important to the Zero stuff and explain what's going on. We've been waiting for 24 stuff, right?
Yes, finally. I can't announce it quite yet because it hasn't gone
Oh,
out,
okay. I wasn't sure
maybe
where
it
we're
has.
at.
Hold on, maybe it has. Let me look it up. But so Zero's been working, and not just Zero, but all the companies have had to work hard at figuring out how to break into the new system on the 23.5 and 24.
I'm going to give you a little music just to make it official.
Because it's a different system, right? So we've been waiting, and they've got some new lights coming out for the Harley, and it's going to be.
And he's stalling. If you're wondering what he's doing, he's stalling because he's on his laptop, and it's okay. You can pause. He's just going to look something up here real quick for you.
Well, I can do it. They've got it out on their website. So they've got a vent light that for both the Batwing and the Sharknose fairing that goes up inside the vent on the fairing, and it's very it's almost like the bat blades, if you know what those are, the bag blades that mount underneath your lids on the back. They just blend in. When they're off, you don't even see the things. Very slick looking. And then when you turn them on, you get a white light, and when you hit your church signals, you get a left and right on that.
Yeah.
In addition to that, here's what's really cool. So they've got this Jesus. They've got this module called the Light Strike Commander, and allegedly you can do patterns with that thing. You check your state and local laws to see if you can have this stuff on when you're going down the road, but you could do a Knight Rider theme with it, so you can have the light going back.
Who's doing a Knight Rider?
You know you are.
Fuck yeah, I'm doing a Knight Rider, bro. I can't wait to get this shit on my 24 street light. It's coming soon, guys.
And they also have what they're calling the goatee light for the street glide. So you've got that piece of black trim, depending on your bike. I think, well, they might all be black, but it's a piece of trim underneath the headlight, kind of fills in the space. You can remove that and put this LED light in, and that looks really cool.
Yeah.
So that's just some of the starts of where they're at, and I look forward to what else they can do. All
coming to the law-abiding biker store, of course, and believe me, I can't wait to dress up my 24 street light. Yeah, go ahead.
And they've adapted, basically, the Latitude taillight. They've created a curved license plate frame with an LED light on it.
Right away.
Yeah, so we need to get one of those coming, too, for your bike and get rid of that. That's the back end of the bikes, the new bikes on the Harleys, the Road Glide, Street Glide. I think there's a lot of room for improvement just in looks back there.
Yep.
So that while the lighting up front, the addition of the light bar will be nice for additional lighting. The vent light's cool just for looks, but this back one's going to make that rear end look so much better.
Yep. And, we all like a really good-looking, clean rear end.
Everybody likes a good curved rear end.
I mean, I like curves on it. I like it to be clean most of all. Nobody likes a dirtied-up rear end.
No, not at all. But if you do have a dirty rear end,
then
dude wipes.
Yeah, there you go. We know how to fix that, too. So, additional cruiser enhancements.
About time.
Yeah. So let's just go over some of this, guys. So safety features, all updated models now come with RDRS. I forget if they changed the name of that, but rider enhancement, safety enhancements, including to back up, we all saw this. We've had this on the touring models for quite a few years. All these, it started in 14 with the Rushmore bikes. We had linked braking. And then as we moved into the late teens, we got, drag, slip, torque control. We got cornering ABS, traction control, and TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system. That has all.
And hill hold.
And hill hold, vehicle hold. Is that in there?
No.
It's not in our notes. So why are you saying it?
Because you were talking about the touring models that had all that stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
Back then. But
right.
So here's what from what we know, here's what's getting pushed over, right?
Right.
Okay, so not vehicle hold control. What's getting pushed over is to the cruiser lineup is cornering ABS, traction control, drag, torque, slip control, and tire pressure monitoring. Those are the things that are getting pushed over. That's huge. So a lot. The cruiser, me and Lurch have talked, and we said this in our video. They've really, Harley over the past years, which we think is a really smart move, is they've really consolidated their lineup, and a lot of their technology is in all the bikes.
Yeah, they're
streamlining. And I think that was smart from a company perspective. They were getting very bloated. We kind of found that with Indian as we were doing our video and researching yesterday. They're kind of where Harley was 4 years ago. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think they need to consolidate too. You've got Indian website there's so many different freaking models, and then 2 models of Chieftains and 2 models of Roadmaster, and you've got the 111 Thunderstroke, and you've got the 112 Power Plus that they came at.
The 108, the 112,
the 108, the 112,
the 111, the 116.
The 116, you've got, it's a mess.
They're kind of where Harley was a few years ago.
They really are. Yeah. And I think it's smarter just to really consolidate your line, produce bikes, and make the ones you make really good, and don't try to offer every single thing under the sun. I think Harley need to do that probably financially and as a company restructuring. So I'm not saying it's a huge bad thing. It's just, we really noted when we were on the internet, we're like, we really had to do our homework and notes. We're like, holy shit. Oh, not that Chieftain, this Chieftain, and not that Roadmaster. What do you mean the Thunderstroke, or you're talking about the 108? No, not the 108. They came out with the 108. So you're just like, wow. And that's exactly where Harley was. It was very difficult 5 years ago for us to do these because it was so hard trying to reel everything in to make it make sense. But so we're seeing a lot of those safety features. That's huge. Obviously, I'm a proponent as an instructor, motorcycle officer, huge proponent of these safety features, although you should learn them all on your own and learn how to do them without, because that makes you a much safer and better rider. When you do freak out, or for new riders, at the end of the day, these things are just simply going to save lives and save injuries. When people freak out and just crank their brakes, they're getting interesting. Lurch, I don't know if you can do that real quick. I think these are just the 4. Linked braking didn't come to these either, did it? I don't think we're getting the linked braking.
I think I've got them all pulled up here.
Okay.
Actually,
Lurch is going to look over some of that. I think those 4 are just the only 4 that are getting pushed over. So you still have more with like the touring models. You get the linked braking, which is huge. We saw that on as far back as 14 on the Rushmore models, where, if a rider freaks out and grabs all front and he forgets to do back, it's going to automatically start adding rear, or vice versa. Again, just when people go code black, the system's trying to take over with you so you don't die. So those are all good things. But we got some of the safety features, unless Lurch finds out different.
There's quite a few here. So you got the anti-lock brake system. So you got ABS on it. Not sure that includes link. That'll be something you'll have to ask
they would totally put that as a separate thing.
Traction control.
Yep, absolutely separate.
Traction control, drag torque slip control, TPMS.
Mention those.
It's got. I'm just listing them off right now. Corner enhanced anti-brake and ABS. So it'll, if you're cornering, the ABS will work.
Yep.
They got cornering traction control, and they got cornering drag slip control.
I tell you, they would definitely list those on the touring models. You'll see that listed
I've
separate.
Got that down
linked
as a question
braking.
to ask when you're down there.
Good. And some of those. So you're getting a lot of it from at the time of this. If that changes, we will correct ourselves, and I'll certainly make sure of that when I go down to test ride and review these. But still, for the cruiser lineup, huge, amazing. So let's move into suspension and controls. They retuned the suspension for improved comfort and handling. Redesign, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Bigger motor, different weights, more horsepower. Yep. Yes, you got to retune the suspension.
Yep. And they redesigned the hand controls with new buttons, adjustable brake levers, which is cool, and LED lighting all the way around on these cruiser models. And the housings, we saw a redesign on the touring models in 24. These, although the buttons are similar, they don't look exactly the same, and the housings don't look exactly the same.
They look like a scaled down version.
Yeah.
Of what's on the new touring bikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they do look a little bit different. And I was going to mention they have the headlight flash switch up to your left. So they copied a lot, but it is just, like Lurt says, just slightly different in his explanation there. So let's talk connectivity. They finally switched over, which they did on my 24 also, the new standard USB-C, faster charging, faster data transfer speeds, ports for the infotainment systems and interfaces, so to speak, have been added to all the models for the faster data transfer and device charging. Like I say, they're a bit in different locations. Heated gear connectors come into the cruiser lineup. Relocated. I guess they already came with it, some of them, but they're coming on all the 6 models we mentioned. They're relocated for easier access under the seat and now available with dual ports. So very similar to my touring model. Under the seat, 2 ports, accessory ports for things like gerbing heated gear that you're going to go over and buy in the law-abiding biker store and get freaking heated up. That's what it's all about. Get hot. Get hot. All right. So we're going to do some, now I'll share my screen with you a bit here, but Lurch, while I'm doing that, let's pop over here and you can do this bad boy and I will get the bike popped up here. And because I'm doing that, I probably won't get to go. Oh, it feels so good on
bummer.
my ass.
So you had to get it out ahead of time.
I know you're going to miss that. So
I will. Ride longer. You just changed it.
Well, I got to
pull it from
yeah.
Okay.
Lurch is going to do that in a second, but I got to pull up some of these bikes. So
ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin, hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs seconds, easily cleans, and helps dampen those damn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head on over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
Oh, my ass. Just had to.
We got them in stock.
There you go. I will be rocking my butt buffer in Canada this year. You better be damn sure of that. I don't care what seat you use. The butt buffer makes it better.
It sure does.
And if you didn't know, available in the Law Abiding Biker Store, my seat sitting right out here, we're going to do a video on it, is my beloved Road Sofa Saddleman heated. Oh my God, the king of seats. So available in the Law Abiding Biker Store now, guys. Don't forget, huge tax break if you're not a Washington State resident. Patron code, free shipping over 100. Huge savings when you're purchasing something expensive like a road stuff. You can get either heated or non-heated. Again, if you don't see your seat, hit us up on the contact form as always and over at the store, and we will be able to send you a quote and get that shipped out to you with aforementioned discounts. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pop you to my computer screen here, and we will look over this. So I think, Lurch, we're going to start with the Lowrider S. Oops, okay. I didn't mean to do that. Here's the Lowrider S, and then I will take and pull this over here to speak of some of what we want to talk about. Actually, I was looking for my article, wasn't I? Let me bear with me. This is the live experience here, guys, as I get the proper tabs open that I want. So we got that. We got our article. That's what I want there. All right. So I will bring you guys back into my screen here, so I'm not flipping tabs. I'm sure you were getting dizzy me flipping tabs there. All right. So we are down to where we want to. We're not going to break down we might just breeze over some, but I think what we're trying to do here is kind of detailed model highlights. And I guess I wanted to start with the ST, didn't I?
Yeah, so that one's got the most change, yeah.
Let me go back. Bikes, we're on the Harley site, new motorcycles, cruiser, and the Lowrider ST. So this is what we're looking at. So why don't you go over this bike a little bit, Lurch, and what we want to talk about, referencing our notes, and I'll try to run the screen here a bit. Well,
obviously the new Milwaukee 117 high output powertrain is awesome. That's going to really make that bike rip. But one of the things that I didn't like about this bike when it first came out aesthetically was the hard bags, and the fact that the one on the right side, which the exhaust is on, was not as deep because it had to accommodate for a dual stacked exhaust. So when you looked at that thing from the rear, it was just out of alignment, and my OCD just would not get along with that. It just was not visually appealing to me. So what they did this year is they put a 2-into-1 exhaust on the right side, which took away the need to put a smaller bag on the right side. So now the bags are the same size, and it looks so much better aesthetically.
Yeah. And just going through some of the colors, this is cool. Very excited. I've talked about it in the past, Harley seems to be catering to black trim bikes. And I will be quite honest with you. A lot of us are still very much traditional chrome guys. And I'm not appreciative of the fact that they've catered to that black trim bike. There's too many of them out there. If you're a black trim bike, cool. I'm not dogging you. Everybody has personal preferences. Unfortunately, they just became the standard. And I still fall on chrome. And I know a lot of you out there are traditional chrome guys. And nothing wrong with black. Actually, my Dyna Lowrider S is black trim bike. It's a 16.
For sale, by the way, if anybody's interested.
It is for sale right now. We put it in the private Facebook group. So the problem is we weren't getting a lot of the options. They're still definitely catering to black. We'll explain that in a minute. I'll just say it now. You get more color options when you go black trim, and you get less color options when you go chrome. With all that said, what I'm happy about is if you look here, this year, the ST, we get a chrome version, which just makes me smile ear to ear. But as you can see, when I pop on chrome, you get 3 colors, and you get that blue burst, vivid black, and then they're standard on all the models. Base model prices is billiard gray. And then when you go to black, you see these extra colors, and this is a really cool color. Now, I did a YouTube video. I popped down to the dealership. That video got a shitload of views. I just showed this black Midnight Firestorm for $2,000 extra, of course. Ghost Flames. I did it on a Street Glide, a 25 Street Glide, excuse me. And it's a really cool video, and it just really goes over and shows you really cool angles if you're interested or want to see this Midnight Firestorm up close and in person in a lot more detail than you see here. But it is cool. So that's one of the changes. Chrome available, and we got to get it back to chrome. Oh God, it just puts me at ease getting it back to chrome there. So awesome looking bike, and quite honestly, there might be. I'm just telling you guys right now, we're selling the Dyna Lowrider S because we want to bring another project bike in, and my gut tells me there might be a future stable spot for this very bike. Although we'd have to decide what color. Definitely not black. I'm not a black bike guy, only because it's really hard to clean. I love the Midnight Firestorm. I just would never do it. Probably this color right here is my favorite, which is blue burst. So if we get one, that's probably it's definitely gonna be chrome, and this is probably gonna be the color that we choose. So you might see that on the channel at some point. Just having it, we like to have a spare bike. We like to, because we test a lot of lighting for our companies and products we sell. And so just having another bike aside from a full touring is in our future. That's why the Dyna Lowrider S is really, its lifespan has come to an end, and we need to push a new bike. So anything else, Lurch, as you're reading through our notes here?
Yeah, I will just clean up because I had the opportunity to look a little bit here. You're 100% right. So take that and enjoy it. Just bask in your rightness.
Yes, dude. Finally, that's twice this episode. I want y'all to mark that twice.
I don't know what happened.
That he's admitted,
and I don't know why.
I appreciate it. It's a very humble thing to do. Because I know it's not easy to be humble.
It's the new me, turn 50.
Yeah, right.
Got more zen,
A kinder, gentler Lurch. Yeah. Usually he argues with me till we're both red in the face.
If I think I'm right, but I know I'm not right here. So if you look at the full touring models, like I pull up a Road Glide. For an example, it does list in the rider enhancements electronic linked braking, which
one? Sorry,
the Road Glide.
The Road Glide. So it does. I knew it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it specifically says that where the cruisers didn't. So I'm going to go with that. They do not have that.
Gotcha.
Electronic linked braking,
which they can put more tech on there's more room and things on so it makes sense. But with that said, we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you guys my screen, and we're going to talk. Why don't you talk about the breakout, Lurch, and any things here, and I'll kind of go through. I'll start chrome only. So some of the black trim guys might be mad on this, but the breakout's always been that way. So I get it. I just wish if you're going to offer the bikes, offer them all in chrome, all in black, and offer all the colors, because you got the paint anyways. And I get your streamlining, but that kind of pisses off a lot of people when they can't get the colors that they want. So the breakout, it's been out for some years now. Definitely a bike of its own. I got to ride this when we went to the 120th Homecoming Harley in Milwaukee, and I did a real quick review, rode that thing around Milwaukee. Fun bike. It's a ripper. It'll turn some heads. Billiard gray coming base. You got black, vivid black. If you're a yellow guy, centerline, it's a very yellow color. It's kind of a dumbed down yellow color, so to speak. Brilliant red. And of course, 1300, you get that Midnight Firestorm on that guy. Anything else about what motor are we getting in this?
It's got the 117.
They all do. The 6 we're talking about.
The 117 custom version of the 117.
The custom
so
variant.
That's going to be in the middle, right?
There you go.
It's going to be the middle mode. if you will. Long and lean bike, but also another thing that they did to it, small change, but they put a 5.75-inch round headlight in the front instead of the oval one. The oval one looked a little bit goofy. That the round one's got a much more nostalgic, look to it.
Show you guys that real quick. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Looks a lot better on it.
Yep. It was definitely different last year. So yeah. So Lurch, moving on down, I will move on. Go ahead and grab your notes and see what you want to say about the Fat Boy and anything we want to do there. I'm pulling it up on your screen, guys, for you. Of course, the Fat Boy, a frickin' classic. And so taking a look at it here.
Also with the custom version of the 117.
The custom variant of the motor. Very cool. Also only coming in chrome. And so I know some of you, I bitched about the black trim guys. There are some bikes that only come in chrome too, so you would have the same argument, especially if you're a Fat Boy guy and you're like, I want the black trim. So again, across the line, we should have those choices. That's just a little bitch I have. But that big old headlight nacelle, traditional Fat Boy, billiard gray, your base vivid black. We're looking at Blue Burst here, and then Whiskey Fire vivid black. That's pretty cool. Kind of a two-tone paint, so to speak.
And they've got what they're calling the Lakester, exclusive Lakester cast aluminum wheels to emphasize a bold stance. So, those are reminiscent of wheels that have been on the Fat Boys, but this, I think, is a little bit more modern version of that. It's not solid or it doesn't have tiny little holes in it. Actually has some pretty decent sized cutouts, but definitely a nod to the bikes of the past.
There you go. Moving on to a classic, thus named the Heritage Classic, of course. Taking a look at it here, only coming in black trim, this bike. And it's really interesting because they do say black, but me and Lurch noticed, he actually pointed out to me.
It's a combo.
It's a combo because you got the chrome valve covers and you got the chrome air cleaner and down here the timing cover. So it's kind of a pop and mix. And I actually really like that because I do that with my bike, like my Street Glide. It's a chrome, but I've also added like black Vance & Hines pipes to it and black intake, and I like that kind of back and forth, not just all one color. But of course the Heritage Classic is you're coming with the extra lights, the headlight, and then the two running lights off to the side, big round lights, that classic traditionalist along with a windshield and, kind of a custom seat with some, whatever you call that, standing out on it, and your leather saddlebags. Anything else, only black, and then you got your colors to choose from, Lurch.
That one also has the classic version of the 117 powertrain, and one thing they also changed is they got a 2-in-1 exhaust on that one as well. It's kind of similar to the ST.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So the Heritage Classic. Now I think we're going to move into, that's kind of the cruisers that we wanted to go over. We didn't have them all listed there. I think
Street Bob's the last one.
Yeah. Did I miss it?
Yeah.
It's not here. Oh, it broke down some of them, but it didn't break them down. I'm looking at or we didn't break it down. So, okay. Fat Boy and the Street Bob. We didn't do the Lowrider S either.
Oh, that's right. You started with it and then went away because you want to start with the S.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So
not a lot's changed if you're going to the S. Not a lot's changed on the S at all. Just the motor.
Okay.
Pretty much. There you go. Motor and
the high output version. That bike there.
Oh, that'll really rip.
I'm selling my 16 Dyna Lowrider S before they got rid of Dyna and went to the soft tail frame for the Dynas. That bike with that 117 high output, both that and ST, all I can say, gonna fucking rip. I'm telling you, you want the fun factor. Those are your bikes. And let's go down to the Street Bob and chrome only on the Street Bob. Your trendy rubber boot front, scrambler type look, so to speak, on the forks, and only coming in chrome. And of course, you got the different colors. What variant of the motors is the classic?
That's the classic as well.
The classic variant of the motor. So with that said, those are kind of the cruisers. Quick look over a lot, like I say, not a bunch of huge change, but the motors is definitely different to choose the bike you want based on, kind of how you want that to behave and what kind of riding you're going to do. Now we're going to move into the Grand American Touring updates because this is huge, in a sense of hugeness, because there's some controversy and some talk about this. So let me get that going now. While I get that up on the site, and let's just do it real quick. This will be the Grand American Touring. Yes, you heard it right. A Street Glide Ultra. I'll bring you into my screen here, guys. Let's just have a talk here. So let me show you real quick, and I'm sure you've all seen it. It's a Street Glide.
Yeah.
Ultra.
Yeah.
It's got a trunk. It's basically, they did with this what I did with my 24 Street Glide, minus one thing. So what they did is we talked about consolidation. We already mentioned that in this episode. That's what they've done here. And we had a lot of predictions going up to it. And I have to say, we were half right, or I was half right on our predictions. You know, they had two ways to go here. They basically took a Street Glide, they added a trunk, and they added newly designed lowers. And I'm curious, you guys in the chat right now, I haven't been monitoring it very close, but let me know what your thoughts are as I show you these lowers. They are not like we saw in the Ultras and things like that of past. They are newly redesigned, and they wrap around and encompass the radiator there. It's definitely a new modern look. Let me know.
Got a chin spoiler. They go all the way underneath the bike.
Yes.
Yeah, they're definitely a different look.
Like I say, they encompass that radiator is why that is.
Yep.
And so take a look at it. I'm actually curious, just first thoughts aesthetically, whether you like it or hate it. And we'll try to read through some of those in a minute, but they put a taller windshield, a trunk, and those lowers. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of an actual traditional, what we're used to, a Ultra Limited. Or in that sense, there's also the Road Glide Limited, which has everything. Those are your full touring, wraparound seat, speakers in the backrest, or, you know, for the passenger, speakers in your lowers. There's no speakers in these lowers. It's 2 glove boxes. There's no radiators in them. The radiators up front. So really streamlined. And I thought, you know, well, they're going to have us, you know, a la carte, basically. You know, these bikes from here on out, you're going to get a Street Glide or a Road Glide, and then a la carte, you're going to add things. But interestingly, you can add some things of the touring, but you can't get all of them to make it a true sense of an Ultra Glide, which is based on the Electra frame, not the Street Glide frame, which are just a little bit different. They sit different heights and some things like that, but essentially the same. Now this is based on the Street Glide frame. So it seems, you know, the Electra is going out the door, and they're going to do the Street Glide Ultra. So a couple issues, and then Lurch, I want you to kind of dive in. A couple issues come up. So with this said, you know, we don't have a 25 at this time Ultra. It seems like that's axed.
It appears at this point, unless they do some type of mid-year launch.
I don't think they're going to.
I don't think though.
It wouldn't make sense.
If you look at the way they're streamlining everything else in their production, it wouldn't make sense that now that they came out with this, and then they're going to come out with a Electra Glide Ultra, because it's just now they're adding instead of taking away. So
right.
I think this is the direction. You either get a Street Glide or you get a Street Glide Ultra.
Yep. A Street Glide or a Street Glide Ultra. And now remember, I want to show you guys this for further conversation. So I'm going to go to Grand American Touring, and I'm going to go to the Road Glide Limited. I'm going to show you guys. So this is the 24. We don't have a 25 of this. And as you can see, the Road Glide Limited is the full touring. Wrap around, you can see the speakers, the lowers, but it's got the old fairing. It doesn't have the newly redesigned fairing. And at this time, there is no 25. So it just puts things in a really peculiar spot right now.
Does.
Harley is known to do some mid-year launches. I'm telling you, there's going to be an unveil when I go down to Vegas. I don't know. It's an unveil. They told us there's going to be something special. I don't know what that'll be. So here's where we're at.
The Road Glide Ultra, maybe.
Yes. Right. Maybe. Which, okay.
But why when they...
That's not a huge unveil, but but it could be. It could be. So let me put this real quick before you go.
Okay.
Because I want to keep this especially for listeners that aren't familiar with all of these models. So monitor chat too and see what people are saying.
Yeah, I've got some stuff to bring up. Okay. Go.
So here's where we're at. As we sit at the time of this recording, we don't have an Ultra Limited. That's the Batwing fairing version of the full touring, everything bells and whistles for full touring, minus CVO. That's later. So, and then we have the Road Glide Limited. So we're minus the Ultra, but we have a new Street Glide Ultra, but it doesn't have everything. We still have a Road Glide Limited, but a 24 version on the website.
That
no
has
25.
Everything.
That has everything minus the new fairing. So it seems to me if they're going to streamline, this is my prediction, based on, I think, common sense. So they came out with a Street Glide Ultra. There's not going to be an Ultra Limited anymore. They're going to axe the Road Glide Limited, and they're going to come out with a Road Glide Ultra. So you're either going to buy a Street Glide or a Road Glide, or a Street Glide Ultra or a Road Glide Ultra, and that is the future.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
And
you can add some touring things to that. However, looking at the a la carte on the website when you're building your bike, you can't get everything at this point. So we will say the Street Glide Ultra is coming with heated grips, where the Street Glide and Road Glide standards don't. The regular, I shouldn't say standards, they don't have it anymore, but just the models.
Yep.
So we forgot to mention that it has heated grips. But other than that, you're not getting the speakers in the lowers. Maybe they'll make those glove boxes a speaker conversion. You're not getting the speakers in the back. Maybe they'll make a conversion for that. But at this time, you can't. They also come with saddlebag guards, the Street Glide Ultra, and the full Road Glide Limited. I hope if you're an audio listener or not completely understanding Harley models, that makes sense. That's the direction that I think they're going to go. Lurch, I know you got a lot to say about this.
And before I get into my thoughts, I want to go through the chat and say some things because they're starting to get busy in there and I don't want to lose it. So,
nice. Love it.
Gary Jackson says, I really don't like the color and trim limitations. He's talking about the Street Glide Ultra. Damn it, I want a specific bike with the trim I want and the color I want. Stop telling me what to do, HD. Craig Bowles says they look Indian. So I imagine he's talking about the lower fairings, and I would agree that those lower fairings on the Street Glide Ultra look quite a bit like what's on the Indian Pursuit. Let's see what else. Gary Jackson also says I could live with the lowers in the color I wanted. So it's definitely a color and trim issue for him. Luis,
so he can get chrome or black on the Street Glide Ultra trim, but when you go to
the color combo is not available.
You can't get the color combos. I agree. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I was understanding him.
And I'm going to try to say Luis Caparasso. He says, I can't come to terms with deleting the Ultra Limited. I'm not sure about the new lowers yet. And then he asks, what are the difference with the Street Glide Ultra versus the Road Glide Ultra?
There is no Road Glide Ultra yet.
There isn't at this point.
That's why we're like, what are we doing here? Because we've got the old Road Glide Limited with the old fairing. We have a Street Glide Ultra, but we don't have a Road Glide Ultra yet.
We got the Road Glide Limited, which is the old body style.
The old body style.
It just confuses things even more.
Right.
We thought we were going to get a lot more answers out of this. We assumed that either the Ultra was going away and it was going to be a la carte Street Glide, a la carte Road Glide. It looks like they've done a little bit of a combination of that. You can get the Street Glide, Road Glide. Now you can get the Street Glide Ultra. But what confuses everybody is the Road Glide Limited's available, but there's no Road Glide Ultra. So what's going on there?
My gut kind of tells me too, is as they're reconsolidating the company and streamlining things, I have to believe that that's a marketing decisions. And so they want to stall to try to sell out the dealers of the Road Glide Limited 24 with good deals before they enter. And that's going to, I know that also pisses people off because they'll buy it and then they'll go like, I didn't know that. That's why they've been doing mid-year stuff. They'll try to, you'll see the dealers and they'll try to blow out kind of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, oh, hey, it's February. We just came out with an old Road Glide Ultra now with the new fairing, and that will piss. Hopefully you got a deal. So I think that a lot of the decisions on what backstock they have and things like that go into how they release things. I mean, that's just like every company does. That's just smart business, whether you like it or not.
So getting into my thoughts here. So I'm due for a new bike. My 2015, it's 10 years old. It's about time. And there's been enough changes that I'm finally ready to, make my wallet a little bit lighter and get a new bike. And I was torn because we were waiting to find out which way they were going to go with the touring models. Was it a la carte? Would there be ultra models? Whatnot? Because right now, if you look at my Road Glide, it's essentially a limited or an ultra. It doesn't have quite all the bells and whistles, right? But it has the touring seat on it. It's got the full, detachable touring pack and lights and all kinds of stuff. So it's somewhere where if they were to make it, a Road Glide Limited would be minus the fairing, the lower fairing. So I'm still in limbo because I don't know. Are they going to make a Road Glide Ultra? And is it something I want? I'm kind of leaning towards going with a 24 Road Glide if I can find one. and just building it like I did my other one.
He is getting a 24 Road Glide. I'll just tell you right now. That's about the 10th time he said it.
More than likely. the challenge is just finding one, right? Finding one that's at a good deal. I mean, obviously we can travel and go grab one.
Correct.
But they've increased, they're a couple $1,000 more this year versus last year. And I can't see why.
Right.
Other than the Road Glide's gotten pretty popular. I mean, there was price increases across the board, which is normal. There was a smaller increase in the Street Glide, though. It was a little bit bigger in the Road Glide. What's the deal? So I'm hoping maybe I can find a 24 that somebody's trying to clear out and get a really good deal on it. And then I'll add a trunk and whatnot to it. But that could all change in a couple of weeks when you go down and test ride. Maybe they
unveil a Road Glide Ultra.
Maybe. And maybe I want it. I don't know.
Well, I don't think you would. I think you would rather just put a trunk on a Road Glide because all you're getting is the lowers. We put the heated grips on ourselves and you do a trunk and you got a Road Glide Ultra.
And I'm not a huge fan of, I don't really necessarily like the lowers. I'm tall.
I kind of like them.
I'm not against them.
Right.
They're great. You can close them up in weather and all that kind of stuff.
No, I mean the looks of these. Sorry. Not having them, but just the looks of them.
I don't hate them. But the problem is looking at it like that doesn't tell me a whole lot.
Right. I need to see it in person and get actual film of it.
Yeah. I see Matt Haywood popped in here. Matt made a comment, and I can't remember if it was in like our club chat or what it was, but he had seen them in person, said they look better. Mm-hmm. It might have been on the Facebook group. Anyways, he said he saw them in person. They don't look that bad, but I don't know. For me, I'm not a huge fan of lowers.
Right.
So I may go the 24 and build it route.
There you go. So a lot going on. And if you want to learn more about the touring soft launch and the nuances there, we get a lot more detail on our soft launch episode, which we already mentioned. I think it was 388.
Correct.
Episode 388. So in the interest of time and moving on, thanks for being involved in the comments, everybody. I really appreciate it. Your guys' thoughts and opinions on this too. So over-the-air updates came out for the IFCU, which is huge. So with that said, the infotainment control unit came on my 24 Street Glide. We saw it introduced, actually the 23 CVOs. And then, so it came out a little bit before that, but nonetheless, it's the infotainment control unit, the IFCU, the completely integrated digital dash speedometer. Everything's integrated, one big panel in the front. It's a beautiful system. It's been working awesome for me. Really like that thing. And, and we have very detailed tutorial videos on that, guys. It is a big system, and I will flatten the learning curve for you. That video sells like hotcakes because I will get you through it in a very fashion that makes it understandable, and I'll show you how to update it, and I will show you all the hidden menus and things like that on how to best use that thing so you can have less time trying to learn it and get out and ride. And that's all over, I believe. If the link is right, can you look it up, Lurch? I think it's lawabidingbiker.com/IFCU is how you get to that. And Lurch will put it in the show notes for this episode. But with that said, with my bike, it is a little bit cumbersome, which is why my video is so useful to people. One of the things in there, it is lawabidingbiker.com/IFCU, infotainment control unit. So just IFCU. It'll get you there. It's a landing page. But it is a little bit weird. You have to have two thumb drives, very specific thumb drives. It has to be done in a very specific sequence. The files have to be downloaded in a very specific sequence to get this thing updated. Meanwhile, it's connected to Wi-Fi. When I first got brought home, I connected it to my studio Wi-Fi so that you can get weather and some other things. And one of my bitches was, why in the hell in 2024, Harley, would you not allow me to update that over Wi-Fi? Why am I having to use thumb drives and all this crap? Well, and I'm very excited they listened. And here in 2025, these bikes, you can now do over-the-air software updates via a Wi-Fi connection. So you don't have to do this cumbersome system. Thank God they listened, because I did bitch about it publicly and openly. It was one of my biggest complaints. My biggest question is, which I'll find out down when I go to Texas to ride and review the bikes, is I will ask, I'm thinking that we will be able to retro that via a firmware update, because the IFCU is not different. It's the same IFCU. So I full-heartedly believe that Harley will give us a firmware update via our memory stick, old school way to do it. And thus from that point forward, us two who bought in 24 will also be able to update over the air. I haven't looked. I need to actually look at the portal, Harley portal, to see if there's even an update for it.
There is actually, it came out this morning. Matt Haywood and Bob Dawson were just talking about that.
Were
in
they?
the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an update out there. Matt said he couldn't get it to work.
Okay. I'll try to get it to work for you guys. I'll let you know, Matt, if I did something different to get it to work. Because I'm thinking that is the firmware update that's going to be necessary for us to then, from that point forward, update over. So that's not exciting to a lot of people, but updating over the air is huge because it was 2024 and that was stupid.
Yeah.
What a beautiful, great, like one of the most technically logically advanced motors. It is digital dash. And then, we're going to make you do thumb drives and things like that. So, all right. Moving on, we are going to wrap this up a little bit with some adventure touring, of course, CVO models, and also with adventure touring. So why don't you go over the CVO models real quick, Lurch, and I'll just pull the screen. And as Lurch is just, there's not a lot to talk about here, but I'll try to pull up some bikes as you are talking.
Yeah, there's nothing really new. A CVO's, we all know what it is. It's got all the bells and whistles on it, but they had not been released on the soft launch. There was not part of it. So there is a CVO.
Dude, this is badass. If you guys look at my screen, I'm sorry. That color just speaks to me. And interestingly, they've got scorched chrome. That's badass. 2 colors, and then scorched chrome trim, and they've got chrome trim. Only one color, of course, CVO in scorched or in chrome and then scorched trim.
If I had the change, I'd grab the chrome with that blue.
That's my favorite.
Streak, yeah.
Don't you guys like that?
That's
Look at that
gorgeous.
paint job on the saddle.
I just can't spend that much money.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, it's no big deal, guys. It's only starting base model at $46,000. Not a huge deal.
Until you add the $5,000 for the one I want.
I say that
50.
Oh,
51.
but if you get Poisonberry, okay, yeah, so built into the price. But if you get the this paint job that you want, that's only $5,000. So
Christ.
that just puts you at a mere $51,000, guys. It's not I mean, that's chump change to most of you guys in the chat. I mean,
Lord.
you guys are all freaking loaded in there. I mean, $51,000 for a CVO Road Glide, no big deal.
Jake Moritz says, and for $50,000 plus dealer fees, the blue one can be all yours.
Yeah, and then tax and license, you'll get out the door for 58. I mean, not a big deal. Just see what the payments are. Just yeah, that's crazy. All right, so what else on the CVOs? Do you want me to show any
There's
others?
also a Street Glide CVO.
Go ahead. You just keep talking. I'll pull up what I can.
Then there's the Road Glide ST CVO.
We got to look at that.
Yeah, or just the Road Glide ST. I'm sorry, not
CVO Road Glide
ST.
There you go, guys.
And that has the 100
trim black only.
It's got the 121 high output, but that is non-VVT. No, it doesn't have variable valve timing. I should say that the other Street Glide and Road Glide CVOs have that 121 with the VVT.
And for $5,000, you too can have this badass paint job you're looking at. Black trim only again. Sexy for $5,000 again. You'll be out the door. 45. Oh, for only 50,000, but then tax and license. But this is the race inspired king of the baggers. We all know that. A lot of people flock to it. It's carbon fiber front fender, seat cowling, carbon fiber, a lot of extra, like Matt says, the different motor and things like that. So anyways, those are your CVO. If you are a rich man, then please head over and get a CVO, and I will live vicariously through you. Moving on to adventure touring. What do we have here, Lurch? So
got the CVO Pan America.
Okay.
There had been the special in the ST. Now they've added this CVO model.
I forgot to share my screen with you on the
Excuse
CVO,
me.
guys. Sorry.
My notes are a little bit messed around. So there was a CVO and the special model. They have the ST model this year.
Well, let me pull that up then.
Yeah.
Okay, 1250
That's
ST.
the new one.
This is the new one.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys.
So it's a hopped up street version. It's a little more for the street. You can see that it's got a smaller windshield on it. It sits about 3/4 of an inch lower. It does have the adaptive ride height, so it will sit down, but overall it sits 3/4 of an inch lower. It comes with street tires. It's got the Michelin Scorchers on it. Comes with a quick shifter. They got rid of the mid chamber that was on. If you can kind of keep that angle right there. If you're looking for the folks that are looking at the video, right in front of the rear wheel, that pipe is straight through. It doesn't have a collector, a mid pipe, so it's lighter and it's got a better sound. The seat sits a half inch lower. It's got no brush guards, and it's got a slimmer shroud around the radiator. So definitely aim towards the street. They're kind of shooting at for the folks that want something sporty but want a Harley. We've said it. Maybe it's the Brock Street Fighter we all wanted.
Yeah.
This is what they decided to come out with instead. So great looking bike, a ripper, but definitely a little more. Well, not a little more. It's more tailored towards street.
David Schwartz says in reference to the CVO prices, do they throw the divorce in whip for free? Question mark. And I just laughed at that. Yeah. So let's look here. So that's kind of the ST. They do have another. They did come out, like Lurch says, adventure touring. There's the CVO. Quick shot on your screen there of the Pan America.
Got all the bells and whistles,
coming
all the
in
protection.
At 30,000 or thereabouts, 29,000. Yeah.
Luggage.
Just got your luggage. Woo! Sorry, I had to do that again. All right. Sexy.
Your dog's trying to figure out what's going on.
Did I wake him?
Yeah, he popped his head up.
I totally.
And I think you made him fart too. You scared a fart out.
Right out of the old fart box. All right. So there you go. That's your CVOs. We're going to wrap this up, guys. I know it's been a long episode, but as you see, there's actually a lot more to talk about, and hopefully you'll be well versed. Now that was our goal. So you can talk to friends and bikers and kind of, and online. So many trashy, wannabe keyboard warriors out there that don't do any research and they start popping off comments. You're like, that's not even true. And this wasn't here last year and that you're wrong. But, hopefully you can have some educated, conversation. So we've already talked about some of the, controversial points. So I'm going to skip that, black trim and all that, and chrome. So I'm just looking here to make sure we got Lurch. Let's go ahead. I guess we're at a point where we can kind of wrap it up. Let's look over the comments. And then I will say this now, Harley-Davidson's 2025 street lineup strikes, I believe, a balance, of course, between innovation and tradition. Indians doing the same. They're all trying to keep their heritage and some of their tradition, but they also have to be innovative. They have to bring the bikes up to speed to the times. So that's always a fine balance. I think both companies are navigating through that fairly well, in my humble opinion. They've got, they refreshed the cruisers. We brought ride modes over to them. Huge. We brought a lot of the rider safety enhancements. That's awesome to see, because a lot of cruiser guys got left out on that, which makes me excited for the stable, for a possible ST for the channel. Lowrider ST, we'll see. But to know it has all those safety enhancements and ride modes, it just makes it that much more of a bike. We didn't talk a lot about pricing here. That's another controversial point. Why don't you talk about the Road Glide pricing? And if you want that black trim, off the top of my head, I believe it's $1,200 or $1,300
at least
for black, because I just want to let you guys know it's a special black coating and paint. Found nowhere else in the world. Somewhere between the Mediterranean Sea. What's the pillow guy say? Yeah, special. It can only be found at one place in the world.
Spain, or wherever it was. I can't remember what he says. Giza. That's right.
Anyways, somewhere they found the actual recipe for that paint. Somewhere when they uncovered the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was listed in there. Anyways.
Price increases.
With that said, yeah, go ahead. Back on track.
There's definitely some price increases on these bikes. And at first you're like, well, holy shit, they went up quite a bit. But we put in perspective, especially when you look at the Indian review that we did of their new bikes. They
coming out later today on the channel.
Yeah, they went up as well. But what really kind of pisses me off a little bit is, yes, the black costs a little bit more, and then you get into the Road Glide option, then it's costing a little bit more. So it definitely seems like they've bumped the prices on their most popular paints and bikes, which is frustrating. And you look at 24, the Street Glide and the Road Glide are the same price.
What was the Road Glide? It's like 22. We did it, the math. I don't think we have it in our article, did we?
It's about $500 more expensive than the Street Glide this year, but
that's all.
Both of them are, well, one's up $1,500 and the other's about a little over $2,000.
Okay, you confused me. How much? So if I take a Street Glide base model and a Road Glide base model, how much more for the Road Glide?
$500.
And for the black trim, you're paying $12.
But you also pay the same. You pay more for black.
Right.
12. You pay more for. You paid more for.
I thought it was more than that for some reason.
No, it's year to year. They're both up, but on top of that, there's an extra about $500 that the Road Glide's up over the Street Glide.
Gotcha. So clearly, for like 15 years, whatever, the Street Glide Batwing was by far the most popular selling, not only touring bike in North America, but for Harley, their number one seller. That changed last year, of course, because of King of the Baggers. You got a bunch of wannabes now, like Lurch, like Matt Haywood.
Been on one for 10
I'm
years.
just teasing. I'm teasing. I know. I'm teasing you guys. That's all in good fun.
Yeah.
But the Shark Nose, it's a beautiful bike. I get why. I get why it's so popular. The King of the Baggers certainly had something to that. The CVO ST, the ST, amazing, amazing bikes. And so obviously from a marketing standpoint, Harley's sticking it to you a bit. Sorry, other companies do it too.
Yeah.
It's not exclusive to Harley.
No, Indian's up quite a bit year to year too.
Yep. Market demand, and road glides are in more demand now than the street glides, and so they're going to capitalize on that. That is just what it is. Everybody does that. Every company does that for the most part. So take it for what it's worth. But I'm glad we brought that up and mentioned it. And I love all you Shark Nose guys. It's okay. They're beautiful bikes. I've never been one to be a sheep and follow the crowd and get black trim Shark Nose. I'm on my own. I make my own decisions. I'm a big boy. But for you sheep, the sheep, just run. Run.
No.
I'll be your shepherd.
Sometimes I got to keep you in check.
I'm making some biblical references here. Okay. All right.
I do remember a black street glide that you had.
Yes.
When the
denim,
street glide was the
but
most
not
popular.
Trim.
The chrome was really at that time the only real color.
I don't
in 2011
right.
There wasn't a whole lot of black.
I don't know that the paint is different than the trim. And
I'm just talking about the bike. I'm just talking about
a black bike. They've been around since spring of time.
Okay. The black street glide was like one of the most popular bikes in the world for a while.
The denim?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think
the
so.
denim, the black, this polished.
I don't think the denim was.
You're crazy.
But you could be right. I don't think denim was that crazy popular. I would never get it again, by the way. But it's hard to clean. But there you go. If Lurch wants to have one, it's not really one, but we'll let him have it. We'll give him one because he did humble himself this episode, and I'm appreciative of that. So, we have fun.
Hold on, let me look in the parking lot and find my black street glide.
Anyways,
good luck.
I have one before we take it out here. I have one more thing to say to Lurch. We're teasing.
We've got some donations we'd like to thank on the way out.
Oh yeah. Oh, now, and we got a couple other quick things too here. We appreciate our patron members. So humbled by our patron members. And if you're going to help us out, that's a great way to do it because we offer a plethora of benefits, as I've already explained to you. But for whatever reason, you just want to leave a flat donation. We never balk at a flat donation, and we would like to thank the following people for some flat donations.
We'd like to thank Richard Ferraro of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, John Barton of Titusville, Florida, and Vincenzo Vitali of Fredericksburg, Virginia.
lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how they did that. Again, /donate, or on the main page of the Law Abiding Biker website, there's a large donate button off to the right side, and you can donate that way. Also, amazing, folks are also donating in the form of tips in the Law Abiding Biker store. I don't even know how to say thank you to that. Not only are you shopping in our store to support us, but you're thanking us for our time and efforts, because we do cater to people over there and answer your questions, which you won't get at the big stores. You're talking to bikers that live, eat, breathe. We use this stuff. A lot of the products, most of the products we sell, we use. And so we can answer them in an educational format. And so a lot of people just ask us for thoughts, opinions, what they should get, what's going to be best for them based on there. So we're answering a lot of those emails, mostly Lurch and Oscar right now. I answer some of those, but you're going to get a catered experience over there. And so because of that, a lot of people are like, not only did you direct me, you took time with me, you walked me through the process, you got my product out fast, I just want to leave a tip. And so anyways, thank you for that. And that is an opportunity and an option over there, and never expected, always appreciated. Thank you very much for that, guys. All those donations help put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank,
so we can keep this thing running on down the road.
Don't forget, guys, I'm going to pop it. I just need to make a thumbnail and a few other things. Other than that, it's ready to go. We're going to go ahead and pop the Indian 2025 release versus Harley-Davidson. Again, a very objective video. If you're in the market for both, We did a lot of research and copious notes, and we shot that video, and I will be popping that on the YouTube channel. So make sure you check that video out, and it'll probably surprise you on some things you thought you knew that you didn't know, and some things, it even surprised us on some things on that. So it'll be very educational, and so look forward to that video. And then we're going to get off here live with our patron members, and we're going to have a lunch, and I'm going to pop that video, and then we're going to record, not live, we're going to record the exact video that's coming out today. We're going to do a follow-up podcast episode. Of course, podcasts are always a lot more conversational, a lot more detail. That one will not be live, but as soon as we record it tomorrow, Lurch will upload that one, the audio, into the back end of your patron accounts so you can get it lickety split, because that's how we frickin' roll. Peace. And thank you, everybody, all the patron members, for being here live. We enjoyed your company, and we're trying to do it at different times. We're trying to do more lives here in 2025. It is a benefit. And thanks for the conversation. Thanks for weighing in. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, I love you all very much. Stay safe, and a lot of content coming quick. So stay tuned to that YouTube channel, the podcast. We're coming at you very fast, and with all the releases. And I'm heading to Austin, Texas, for the Harley, and I'm headed to Vegas for Indian, and those videos and podcasts. And they're just, hopefully, my hope that I hope for after doing this 14 years is the way we do it is different from all the other channels. And a lot of the channels just gawk, and they're just over the top about excitement. I'm excited about the new Harley lineup. This won't go on the regular podcast, but you guys members get a little extra. I won't, they just gawk and like everything's so new. Oh my God, look at the Lowrider ST. I'm like, it's got different saddle bags and the exhaust isn't stacked. Let's settle down. They just don't know what to do. And so I am excited about the changes, but I also just do them in a very level-headed manner. Like, here's what's good. Here's what's bad. You'll see me get excited when there's something to get excited about. You also see me get a little bit like, I really feel like they should have did this. Hopefully that's why you come to my channel, to this podcast, and we have been doing it. We are the OGs in the space. I don't think there's not even a handful of YouTube channels that have been around 14 years in the motorcycle space, especially in the American-made V-twin centric space. So anyways, appreciate you guys very much. Appreciate you sticking with us with all the choices out there. And with that said, we got to get some lunch, and we got some things to do. So peace. I will take the live out here. We are ending the stream, guys.